human nature. As far as an individual is concerned, perfect human nature is a must for her life to go to supreme life space. As for the all human beings, it is the prerequisites to establish justice, peace, and happiness of human value system. Without perfect human nature, individual not only cannot get happiness, but also has no bright future. The mankind can never avoid the state of ups and downs in competition, confrontation, and war. The 8 conditions of perfect human nature. Revere greatest creator. Revere gods and Buddha. Revere other people. No mind of losing and winning. No mind of combating. Revere nature. Modest, trustworthy, and honest. Be sympathetic and compassionate. Be able to adjust and stay calm in both good times and bad times. Conform to the laws of nature. Seek not the special and abnormal. Love life. Love labor. 1. 敬畏上帝，敬重神佛，尊重他人。 1. Revere the greatest creator. Revere gods and Buddha. Respect other people. Revere the greatest creator. We have already known that the greatest creator is the creator of the universe, the Lord of all the gods in the kingdom of heaven, the cradle of life, the birthplace of wisdom, the motive power of the universe, and the energy center of the hyperphysical world. The greatest creator has the 8 features. The greatest creator is unique, formless, neutral, mysterious, impartial, merciful, almighty, and wise. He exists in the negative universe in his spirit form and maintains the orderly operation of the universe by means of Tao, namely mana. The greatest creator has no fixed form. He can become any form of things in the universe. He is not the universe, yet everything in the universe is derived from him. He can accomplish anything as long as he wishes. If he wants the moon be removed, it can be done at any time. If he wants to make the Mars full of vitality, it will soon be realized. We humans have nothing to be proud of. We can neither control the Earth's moving, nor our birth and death. We can neither prevent thunder lightning nor control over tube ebb and flow. Without the things bestowed by the greatest creator, we cannot survive for even 1 minute. What has the dauntless revolutionary spirit of fearless to God and fearless to the earth brought us? Nothing but confusion, poverty, ignorance, and backwardness. The result of fearing nothing, daring to do anything. The sayings that man being the soul of the universe, man being able to conquer nature is belief crisis, a damaged nature, legal illiteracy and illiterate demoralization. Everyone has his own standards and claims, I am the number one. What a terrible thing. As the Tao Te Ching. When people have no fear of force, then, as is the common practice, great force descends, the great dread is the greatest creator. If we don't revere the greatest creator, the flood of Noah's time will befall again. Do we dare not revere the greatest creator? Only by revering the greatest creator can we have wisdom. Only by revering the greatest creator can we have life and peace. Only by revering the greatest creator can we have a bright future. Any infinite exaggeration of the human ability can do nothing but cause the destruction of humankind. As far as an individual is concerned, anyone who doesn't revere the greatest creator will never have a chance to go to the 1000, not to mention 10,000 world and the Elysium world. We can be arrogant and despise animals and plants. We can be bold enough to conquer the space, but our wisdom is far from controlling the thunder and lightning and ebb and flow. Our wisdom is far from controlling volcanic eruption and earthquake fission, sudden incidents, aging, and dying. So please do not say anything profane to the greatest creator. Please do not be cocky and supercilious. How to revere the greatest creator. Reverent to the greatest creator as if walking on wire or treading on the thin ice. Do not ignore the greatest creator and turn to worship other gods or Buddha or worldly great man. Be grateful to the greatest creator from beginning to end. Do not distort the greatest creator and do not profane the greatest creator. Could not speak and act in the name of the greatest creator. Revere gods, celestial beings, and Buddha. Gods specially refer to the gods who maintain the order celestial universe. For humans, refers to Jesus and Satan. The commander of the gods is Allah, the greatest creator. Celestial beings and Buddha are the angels. Celestial Buddha is mainly the gods. In the universe, gods are above Buddha, Buddha is above man, man is above the animal is above the plant, Plants are above the mountain rocks and rivers. Mountain rocks and rivers are above the meteorology, and the meteorology is above bacteria. Bacteria is above all living creatures in the hell. All living creatures in the hell are above the suffering creatures in the frozen layer and inflamed layer. There was only one God appeared in the man's world. That is Jesus. In the history of 3 millenniums years, there appeared one Buddha. He is Sakyamuni. The last man in human society got revelation from God is Muhammad. Besides those, every other gods or Buddha are fake and evil. But in the man's world, there are countless celestial beings, bodhisattva. Due to the shallow knowledge of negative universe, negative space, negative time, antimatter, human being cannot see the matters beyond the light of 700 nanometer and cannot hear the sound beyond 20 to 20,000 hertz frequency outside. So they can't know the gods and Buddha. But we cannot deny the existence of gods and Buddha because we cannot see them. The key to revere gods, celestial beings, and Buddha is to revere Jesus, Laozi, and Sakyamuni. Through their disciples, Jesus and Sakyamuni had left us a wealth of knowledge and profound wisdom. Through Tao Te Ching, Laozi explained to us the meaning of Taoism. What they said is the first rule is to conduct oneself and the path leading to the eternal life. To revere to Jesus, the main thing is to understand and comply with the teachings of Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. You must read by yourself, do not listen to the hearsay, and make judgments in order to avoid misunderstanding. To revere Sakyamuni, the main thing is read the sayings of Sakyamuni recorded in Buddha's scriptures and to savor its profound truth. If you don't understand, you can consult Buddhism figures or unworldly higher beings. The most important thing is to get inspiration, to draw inferences about other cases. To dissect a sparrow, you should know the physiological structure of all sparrows. There is no need to dissect them all. When you get the structure of water from anywhere as H2O, then there is no need to conduct laboratory analysis to all the water on the earth. When you realize the truth of Buddha is one, Buddha has no settled rules, then you can know all the Dharma and you can have a general view and no need to study all the voluminous Buddha scriptures. Revere gods, celestial beings, and Buddha, the human nature will be sublimed. Revere gods, celestial beings, and Buddha, you can understand the true wisdom. Revere gods, celestial beings, and Buddha, you can understand the negative universe. Revere gods, celestial beings, and Buddha, you can find the passage to life. Revere gods, celestial beings, and Buddha, you will get infinite benefits. Many people regard reverence to gods, celestial beings, and Buddha as superstition. This is a great misunderstanding. The known world is small, but the unknown world is very large. We should not limit ourselves in the known world due to our ignorance and waste our beautiful life. Respect other people. From the standpoint of secular, people are divided into lowliness and nobleness, but from the essence of life, people are equal. No one's life is nobler than ours, nor is their life lower than ours. As a person with perfect human nature, we have to treat life equally, namely to treat people equally, whether he is a president and great scientist or just a civilian or an ordinary people. Whatever he is, healthy and handsome or disabled or ugly, whether he is a millionaire or penniless, whether he is centenarians or a just-born baby, whether he is a royal or in jail, whether believes in Islam or Jainism, we should show our respect to them. What we mean by respect is to accept belief, habits, hobbies, and features different from that of ours. For instance, if you believe in Buddhism, you cannot discriminate against Judaism. If you believe in Christianity, and you can't be egoistic and belittle atheism. You get the habits of drinking tea, but you cannot interfere with those who drink coffee. You like simplicity, but you cannot blame those who like wearing jewelry. You like art, but you should not belittle those who are addicted in commercial making money. Maybe someone would ask, must we respect those who spit everywhere, use drugs, flirt with women, plunder, bully and oppress the kind and the weak as well? My answer is yes. You need to respect them. His habits and conducts only represent that he is uncivilized, ill-bred, demoralized, which is different from the essence of life. The sun shines on everyone. The moonlight spread to all the corners on the earth. There is no garden without its weeds. The essence of life, people only, has no class of high or low level, so we have no reason not to respect them. I list some of the performance showing no respect to others for your reference. Spit and relieve everywhere. Talking loud in public places. Do not flush the toilet and littering. Break into one's house without notifying. Annoying others and disturbing others' business. No queuing. Do not take turns to get service. Disturb others' rest and peace. Unpunctual for appointment, meeting, and dinner. Promises were made to be broken. Blow one's nose when eating. Scold or abuse one's wife or children when there is a visitor. Laugh at, mock, and speak sarcastically. Abuse. Beat others. Abuse. Threaten children, including their own children. Deprive children's normal entertainment. Force them to learn. Spit on somebody. Yield to seniors. Stare to the youngsters. Unfold others' secrets. Blame the relatives and friends of others. Force others to change their beliefs. Force others to have sex. Limit others' freedom, including wife and husband relation. Ignore others' well-intended respect. Bribe superior and force them to take presents and bring them to a dilemma. Look down upon the disabled. Knock others' door at midnight unless something urgent. Blow horns casually when driving. Using vulgar language. Swear a lot. Going to a banquet wearing slippers or sloppy dressed. Wear mini skirt or bare-chested in formal occasions. Flirt with others' wife or husband. Keep the borrowed things and do not to compensate for damages. Waste others' time. Take something or somebody favored by others. Slow driving in the fast traffic lane while fast driving in a slow traffic lane. Do not walk on the pavement in the busy traffic area, cross the road and block traffic. Lying, starting a rumor, or making inaccurate reports. Let the dog bite people. Take advantage of one's power to bully people. Put one's feet on the tea table when there is guest. Turn over others' bookshelf without permission. Use defective goods as presents. Selling inferior goods. Start to drive when passengers are not yet on board. Drivers who speak these words, "Are you looking for death? You want to die? Are you blind?" To people who block their traffic. Let dilettanti do the adept work. Using the incompetent as leaders. Ask the experts to do the works they are neither interested nor familiar with. Organize meetings and force others to take into political ideology. Search others' body and purse without official permission. Tracking, investigating, and monitoring others with false charges. Mocking, speaking sarcastically and disdaining one's students as a teacher. Cracking down students' self-esteem and self-confidence. Finding all sorts of excuses to collect fees. Degrade colleagues and peers. Speak bad words behind others' back. Be jealousy and demean others' achievement. Excessively touting, praising, and making negative praise. Onlooking, kicking up a fuss, instigating. Peeping others' letters. Sneeze, cough at others. Deliberately to go public places when informed to have infectious disease. Interference with others' private life. Humiliating others. Let others do business works on holidays or resting days. Farting and taking off shoes and socks in public places. Damage others' image and reputation with false charges. Make random guess and infer others' words and deeds and developing trend as per his personal thinking. Show off extravagancy in front of the poor and display knowledge in front of the illiteracy. Plagiarize. Copy others' research results. Exploit others' labor and rights. Stripping others' private property accumulated through hard labor. Enter into others' restricted area without permission. Mining others' ancestral grave. Flashing headlights on full beams to the cars and people in the opposite direction when driving at night. Every speech and practice that embarrassing people. The above listed performances of showing no respect for others cannot be regarded as a criminal offense, but just because these trivial matters cause the great pains in life. If everybody can respect others, needless to say, the world will be a fairyland. But it is impossible for everyone to learn to respect others, unless the human world is managed and everything from food to transportation are supplied by gods, and then execute compulsory measures, where everybody has already had the perfect human nature. All the other behaviors that violating state laws or hurting others are not showing respects. 2. 无胜负心,斗争心. Have no sense of winning and losing or rival. The meaning of life lies to pursue truth and be an immortal rather than try to compete and gain victory. A man who doesn't sublimate his own personality does not pursue the perfect human life, but rather spends all his time and energy to struggle for money and wealth, fame and status, success and victory, glorify and illustrate his ancestors, or to leave a name in the history, he is putting the cart before the horse. The only path to the supreme life space is the perfect human nature. All the rest are nothing but the cumbersome and rubbish of life. Those who have no sense of winning and losing or rival should realize that you are unique in this world. You have your own life and the right to pursue a better life. You are behaving yourself in the standards of Allah and the greatest creator, rather than those standards of the secular society. You get proper conditions of existence through labor. You need not to spend precious life for worthless things. As a member of the human society, you should do your duty and obligation, rather than satisfy the vanity and pride for the catering of the world. If you are a piece of grass, you should not envy the upright poplars and delicate peony. If you are a rose, you should not laugh at the small grass and the dull willows. Don't reduce your life standards and bend your knees to the secular because of the persecution of life. Do not force yourself to do something you do not like. Working is for the sake of perfect humanity. If you are prompted and granted with higher ranks, it is fine. It is not right if you dare not to play golf simply because you are a president. It is not right if you dare not to go to the lake for fishing simply because you are a Nobel Prize winner. And you cannot forbid yourself to lie down naked in the outdoor bathing place simply because you have been granted as a moral master. Determined not to be the slaves of money, wealth, fame, status, beauty, family, nationality, country, others, or religion. Do not override on anyone. Also, don't succumb to anyone. You are equal with all other people. The ups and downs, frustrations, and tortuous of your life are nothing but the pure ornament of your life. They are not success or failure. So do not be happy for the success and cry for the failure. Anyone cannot suppress you in the name of gods, celestial beings, and Buddha, because first you are a man. Nobody should comfort you and guide you with the illusion of the future himself is not clear. You have to enjoy the beautiful life belong to you in this lifetime first. Don't let other people's beliefs, which they can't even follow, to confine you. You should have your own standards. Let others enjoy the competition, contest, combating, and fighting. Don't get yourself involved. You should go on your life journey, in your own pace and speed. The most promising one in the human society is not a president, a scientist, a national hero, nor an artist, a writer, an ordinary civilian, but a man with perfect humanity. Shakyamuni Buddha has declared that I have obtained the passionless samadhi and that I surpass all men. I am, therefore, the highest passionless arhat, which means once you reach the state of no win and no lose, you reach the highest ideal of being a man. And when you reach this state, you are transcending life and death. You are no longer in need of transmigration. Those who don't like compete and have no preference on winning or losing are the living Buddha, the celestial beings, and the great men in the world. The ones who have reached the state of carefree of winning and losing have the following characteristics. Do not participate in any activities that characterized with winning and losing and will not judge people's success or failure, merits, or weak or strong by winning or losing. Do not care about the first or second place, whether it is work, study, or recreation and entertainment. Whether it is inheriting, promotion, or getting dividends, or getting along with colleagues, or choosing professions. They take what belongs to them. They do not plot, fight for, and rob for something does not belong to them. Leave the right of life to others and death to themselves when in need. Those who reach a mind of no competition have the following characteristics. Do not accept the evolution view of the law of the jungle, the survival of the fittest. They believe that human society can be in the same boat and coexist with each other peacefully. In any field of human activities, there is a best way of peaceful settlement. There's no need to intrigue, cheat, vie, and fight against each other. When people around are attracted by interests and desires and can't wait to fight for them, you just stand aside and be indifferent and see how they fight fiercely to blood bleeding. There is no winner in life. Circumstances alter cases. Fortune is variant. Everyone has to go empty-handed in the end. So what is the point to fight and show off? A person who does not know what his tomorrow is like is always a floating cloud, a leaf in the autumn season, a fish in the pond, a worm in the grass. Look back the history. The fighting for success or failure, winning and losing among human beings has little difference with the battles among animals, such as flies fighting for blood, mole crickets and ants fighting for food. rats biting and chicken pick, fox and wolf chasing, dragon and tiger fighting. You cannot find too much civilization in that. Time and tides wait for no man. So you should cherish your limited time. Do not let earthly disputes get your mind disturbed. Do not fall in the slough and lose yourself in the fighting for victory. 3. Reverent to nature. Nature is the precious gift given by the greatest creator, and the earth is the homeland for our cultivation. The rising sun, the gentle attractive moonlight, the twinkling stars, the fresh morning, the cool breeze in the evening, the white clouds floating in the blue sky, the rippling sea, the silver shinning beach, the boundless prairie, the primeval forest of green pines, the vast Gobi, the running streams, each high mountain, every valley, each landscape, each river, gives us countless beautiful enjoyment, triggers us infinite yearnings and endless imaginations. We are being nourished by nature, and we are unselfishly dedicated by nature. Every piece of grass, every fistful of soil, every insect, every bird, every piece of wind, every drop of water, all are our lifeblood. When we rejoice in the tremendous progress of modern industrial civilization, staring at the dense smoke from big chimney of the industry, when we are enjoying the power output from countless nuclear stations, using the refined diesel, gasoline from numerous refinery, when we block one river after another from in the middle and build those impounding dams, when we hoping the biology gene engineering will bring us peaches greater than the watermelons, how many of us have realized that our human beings are committing chronic suicide, are digging graves to bury ourselves, when human are being cocky and arrogant and believing that man can conquer the nature? When we are in a full swing to destroy the mountain forests for terrace, remove the grassland for cultivated land, fill the puddles of water for farmland, and turn green mountains and rivers for mining plant, does it ever occur to anyone that we are overdrawing the blessing of our offspring in our next life? When the pesticide is used everywhere and there is no trace of insects and birds, when rats are killed by medicine and cats are fed by people, when the fishing net are tightly woven and the fish and shrimp find nowhere to hide, when wanton hunting the wild animals in nature for ivory, rhinoceros horn, velvet antler, musk, bear's paws, bird's nest, monkey brains, snake gale, tiger bones, leopards, and so on, when people intend to eat everything and dare to anything and are fearless to heaven and the earth, how many of us have realized that we are committing sins and accelerating the destruction of human? When people are spending a lot money to buy famous paintings and sculptures for collection and are intoxicated in indoor landscape, when people are fascinated by the virtual space of computer network and cannot extricate, when a building after another are stretching out in all directions and people are parsing for their intelligent masterpiece and are going beyond themselves, when people are bathing in the prismy neon, drinking champagne and good wine, eating delicacies of every kind, listening to the singing stars, wearing the fascinating miniskirt and are feeling unrestrained and cheerful, how many people can hear the nature is crying behind us? When people admire Bill Gates and are chasing wealth and trying to make a great fortune overnight and brazenly discharge the waste gas from the factories to the atmosphere, when people allow the sewage of the fertilizer plant to seep into the underground, when people pour the hospital infection virus water into rivers and the waste oil from the ship into the sea, how many of us have realized that we are committing crimes and we are murdering people? How to reverent to nature. Do not wear leather jackets or leather shoes or ornaments made from animals. Do not use bags or belts made from animal skins and furs. Do not eat the meat of wild animals. Do not drink any wine or other beverage mixed with the raw materials of animals. Do not raise, catch, and damage wild animals. Do not cut down trees and plants excessively. Do not involve in any activities that will pollute the air, the earth, the rivers, or any other activities harmful to nature. Do not overpraise any human masterpiece. Reverent to nature and protect nature, and in turn nature will love us, protect us, and breed us. 4. 谦逊守信诚实. Modest, trustworthy, and honest. True modesty is seeking truth from facts, neither exaggerates nor disdains oneself. If Einstein says, "I am one of the greatest scientists," most scientists are not as good as I am, and some of them are not worthy enough to be my servant. We cannot say Einstein is arrogance, not humble, because that is the truth. If the Mao Zedong says, "I know little of politics tactics," I am no better than Qin Shi Huang, Emperor Liu Che in Han Dynasty, and Emperor Li Shimin in Tang Dynasty. Neither am I as good enough as Lin Biao, Zhou Enlai, and Liu Shaoqi. Then, it is considered as humble, because that's not the fact. The sun is modest, the moon is modest, the peony is modest, and the grass is modest. The sun says, I am not as tender as the moon. The moon says, I am not as brilliant as the sun. The peony says, I am not as easy-growing as the grass. The grass says, I am not as delicate and dear as the peony. The sun says, the moon is nothing. It is neither bright nor dark, neither near nor far, sneaks in and out, hides in the day and comes at night. How can it compare with me? See glorious and radiant, bright and open upright I am. The moon says, the sun is nothing. It hangs naked in the sky. It is defiant, insolent from the masses. It is neither reserved nor modest. How can it compare with me? See how considerate I am to allow stars to twinkle. Peony says, what? Are you talking about the grass? The mean and messily scattered grass? How can it compare with me? I despise the bigwigs and dare to fight with the emperor? Can you? Are you qualified to do that? You know nothing except swing in the wind and being manipulated and kissing the ground and seeking for momentary ease. But I can bring the elegant, wonderful enjoyment for the people. Have you ever heard of the Peony Festival in Luoyang? That is specially designed to praise me. Little grass, are you able to do that? Useless thing. Grass says, peony? You mean the painted skin, who knows nothing but swindle by false pretenses, seduce elite for its appearance, the showy, arrogant thing? Nothing to be boasting of. Were you not driven gloomily out of the forbidden city by a piece of paper order from Wu Zetian? Just look at us. Wildfire cannot burn us all. When spring comes we are growing again. When did you ever see we bend our noble heads to the human beings? Luoyang Peony Festival? Isn't it a narcissism farce of stealing the spotlight and relying on sensationalistic poor praise from human? Take a look at us grass, persistent through tremendous grinding and hardship, unbending no matter winds come from which directions. We have all traces in each and every wildness, in each valley and gobi. How can a small Luoyang city hold our footprint? Are you kidding? This is being not humble. I know someone who was same as me and was brought up in a peasant family background. Later she got some fortune by borrowing money from someone and became a shopkeeper's wife. She often says something like this, look the ill-breed ghost of poverty. They are annoying me to death. Every time I heard this, I felt like a fishbone in my throat, hard to spit out or swallow in. People forget the past suffering quickly and much quicker than the speed of the rockets. This kind of words forgetting one's class origin is just being not humble. The truly modest people can reach this kind of state. Everything in the universe is equal. I am nothing special. The universe is full of secrets and mysteries, and what I know is just a little. There are always bigger mountains than the one I know, and the sky I see is not the entire sky. There are many turns in life, and there are still a lot for me to learn. Being trustworthy is one of the significant symbols of perfect human nature. Being trustworthy is to fully assume responsibility and obligation. Being trustworthy is to practice what you preach. Being trustworthy is not talking nonsense and deceiving others. Parents raise children carefully is being trustworthy. Children support the old as being trustworthy. The underlings do a good job as being trustworthy. Superiors show concern and care to the subordinates as being trustworthy. Strictly implement the contract, agreement is being trustworthy. Keep one's word, and do not disappoint others as being trustworthy. Otherwise, it would be trustless. A trustful man can be relied on and can be entrusted with authority. A trustful man has conscientiousness and won't fail you. A trustless man is unknowable and cannot be entrusted. A trustless man is dangerous and enjoys quibble. Honesty is the human nature. Simple is the nature of substances. Cunning is the nature of beasts and transcending is the nature of Buddha. Honesty can be recognized as practical and realistic, neither enlarge nor lessen. Not knowing is not knowing, incapable is incapable, dear is dear, horse is horse, putting on the emperor's new cloths, means wearing nothing at all, thirsty is thirsty and hungry is hungry. What says in the mouth is what keeps in the mind, not beating around the bush nor steering according to the wind, or deceiving his superiors and deluding his subordinates. Dishonesty can be recognized as the true mingled with false, being speculative, pleasing someone against one's will, neither, confusing one thing with another, crossing the sea under camouflage, looking one way and rowing another, pretending to be obedient while looking for another way to escape, one face to God and another to the devil, putting a needle inside cotton, unmatched words with deeds, lying, quibbling, reneging a promise, deceiving, adulterating, giving short measure, lack of sincerity. Promises were made to be broken. Dishonest focuses on the four areas of battlefield: marketing place, official circles, love field, where being honest means failure and elimination. But this is not what human intelligence and wisdom crystallization, but the exterior syndromes of evil and sinful human nature. An honest man among a bunch of liars is just like a sheep enters a herd of wolves. A dishonest man among a group of honest people is just like a wolf mixed in a herd of sheep. An honest man might not do something big in a man's world, but he can enjoy a lifetime serene and peace as well as the blessing from another life. Dishonest people can have their days momentarily, even a lifetime, but they cannot have a quiet and peaceful mind and cannot enter the 1,000-year world in the next life. No matter how perilous the life is and how unpredictable changes of our destiny, if you want to have the perfect human nature and obtain good future of eternal, you must be honest and look further into the future and find more valuable life goal, and temporarily give up the lose and gain of a city or town. You must take off the burdens of life and firmly stride towards a more brilliant future. Otherwise, the life can only be transmigrating in the low's life forever. 5. 有同情心,怜悯心, I. 5. Be sympathetic and compassionate love. Be sympathetic and compassionate love is the supreme level of human nature. It is the definite bridge and path to the Buddha. Compassion is to show sympathy to the fate of human misery. Sympathy is to take pity on the tragic result of each individual. It is a sad and stirring image when you review at the history of mankind. Although there are a few images appeared to be smooth on the surface, yet under the seemingly calm picture, there is another open and secret struggle and a distressed view. Let's leave the Flood Noah era and the Black Plague in modern Europe and the Second World War aside. We are shocked to witness the wars between tribes, race, religion, political parties, and the interest disputes between groups, and all these make us lose our confidence in life. Where is the wisdom of human? Where is the way out? Was the brutal struggle the optimum power to drive human history forward? We cannot but help to be grieved and be sympathetic on that account. Okay, let's narrow the top from the entire humankind to the perspective of individual. Look at the dead and the dying and the thousands of millions who are going to die. How many of them have acquired a perfect life? Hunger, disease, anxiety, fear, worry, death has lodged everyone's mind and body. Who can live a life as unrestrained as wishes? The temporary happiness of the poets and artists, musicians cannot conceal their long-time suffering of their minds. The momentous glory of hero, millionaire, emperor cannot block their long-time hesitation. The seemingly power and prestige of the presidents does not mean their mind is more peaceful and calm than the ordinary people. The daily increasing wealth of the businessmen cannot erase their inward anxiety, let alone the helpless ordinary civilians. After thousands of years' exploration, man still cannot find a good way of living. Isn't that sympathetic? Be sympathetic and compassionate will submate our personality. Without sympathy and compassion, we have no difference with plants, and we will be the same as wild with beasts. Be sympathetic and compassionate will make us clever, intelligent, and reasonable. Yet we have to be cautious that for the people who are strongly self-respected, showing sympathetic and compassionate feeling is regarded as a humiliation. So we cannot easily show compassion and mercy either expression or in action. If anyone is hungry, but if he doesn't appeal to you, don't go to help him. If someone suddenly comes to harm, but if he doesn't appeal to you, don't go to help him. Some people are unreasonable, with undistinguished love and hate, capricious, biting the hand that feeding them. If you sympathize with him and have mercy on him, and he will bring you endless troubles. Like the fable of the farmer and the snake. The farmer showed sympathy and pity on the snake, yet was bitten to death by the poisonous snake. Another example is about marriage. If you get married not because you love and fond of each other, but out of sympathy and pity, then when the days come, you will not find real happiness, and you would become the object of sympathy and compassion. 六无论处于顺境还是逆境，能自我调整，保持平静。X. Be able to adjust and stay calm in both good times and bad times. The road of life is full of twists and turns. There are uphills, downhills, broad ways and narrow paths, sometimes narrow winding trails, sometimes thorn-strewn paths, and sometimes no way to go. Especially when a person begins to explore the road of life, truth of the universe, his path becomes more dangerous and rugged and is full of crises. The more terrifying thing is no peers, no companions, and one can only walk alone. From time to time you can hear the howls of wolves, the roars of tigers, the hiss of snakes, and the calls of ghosts. The misunderstanding of the crowds, the incomprehension of the relatives, the instructions of the masters, and the habitual thoughts formed through thousands of years make your mind gaunt, tired. Sometimes you are very anxious to lie down and fall asleep, and hope that you will never wake up again. When we are in good times, we should not be arrogant, but should attribute all the benefits to the blessing of the greatest Creator. We should be thankful in our hearts, so as not to be eaten up by pride and beget sorrow out of the extreme joy. When we are in bad times, we should not give ourselves up as hopeless, regarding all the disadvantages as the faults of our own words and deeds, as the evil punishment for ourselves. In this way we would not hate heaven, hate the earth, hate society, and hate others. We can maintain a calm state of mind, can make vigorous efforts to turn the situation so as to turn the foul and rotten into the rare and ethereal and turn the bad times into the good times. Here are some ways to deal with particular bad times. Bereaved father in early youth, bereaved wife in prime life, and bereaved son when aged. This is the greatest misfortune for human life, which will make people lonely, confused, perplexed, inferior, and desperate. When such unfortunate time comes, one should perceive things this way. Misfortune generates happiness, and happiness breeds misfortune. Misfortune works as the best catalyst to Buddha. Misfortune can make people attain deeper level understanding on human life and can enlighten one's understanding on the essence of life. As long as we keep calm, accept it naturally, do not underestimate our own capabilities, and continue to work hard, we will soon step on the road leading to super time space. Everyone has his own life path. Everything in the universe is causality. Suffering, distressing, and enduring hardship is not entirely a bad thing. Buddha Sakyamuni often teaches us, suffering in the world and despised by common people are to offset the evil of the previous life, and one may enter the high-level life space in the afterlife. Jesus said, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. But woe to you who are rich, for you have already received your comfort. Woe to you who are well-fed now, for you will go hungry. Woe to you who laugh now, for you will mourn and weep. Woe to you when all men speak well of you, for that is how their fathers treated the false prophets." Matthew 5 verses 1 to 10. He who is to be made to dwindle in power must first be caused to expand. He who is to be weakened must first be made strong. He who is to be laid low must first be exalted to power. He who is to be taken away from must first be given. Vice versa, he who is to be made to expand must first be caused to dwindle in power. He who is to be strong must first be made weak. He who is to be exalted to power must first be laid low. He who is to be given must first be taken away from. From the wisdoms and instructions of Christ Jesus, ancestor of Buddha Sakyamuni and ancestor of celestial Lao Tzu, we can understand. If the greatest Creator would love you, favor you, want to offer you eternal life, they will first make you locate under the condition of poverty, hardship, suffering, and torture. When heaven is about to place a great responsibility on a great man, it always first frustrates his spirit and will, exhausts his muscles and bones, exposes him to starvation and poverty, harasses him by troubles and setbacks so as to stimulate his spirit, toughen his nature, and enhance his abilities. If God is going to lead you to the high-level space, he must first make you suffer and confuse. Otherwise, people will be arrogant and selfish, will be out of all reason, and will refuse to accept any persuasion. Without all those suffering, you can never go to the thousand-year world. The future is so splendid and wonderful. Whatever the suffering and torture would be nothing for us. Therefore, we must understand the following. He who is aware of the male, but keeps to the female. He who is conscious of the white, bright, but keeps to the black, dark. He who is familiar with honor and glory, but keeps to obscurity. Only in this way, we can avoid being trapped in the worldly mire. Being framed up, but one found it hard to vindicate oneself. Being misunderstood and framed up, one will feel more suffered than that of being openly hacked by knife and chopped by axe. He cannot divert himself from the inner anguish and bitterness. In most cases, this is the cause of human suicide. In this adverse situation, we cannot treat ourselves and the society with conventional thinking pattern. Complaining and calling for redress, blaming everyone and everything but oneself, being filled with indignation and being hostile to society can only speed up the collapse of one's own mind. We must understand, right and wrong should be left for God discerning. Merits and faults should be left for Tao assessing. Life and death, honor and disgrace should be temporarily given up. One should quietly wait for the good times of spring blossoms. One should firstly put oneself in a deserted island inwardly, seeing the Western world in cold detachment across the sea. At the same time, one should change this adversity into the turning point of life, work hard to explore the essence of life and human life and win over another way out. Unable to afford treatment when suffered from fatal illness. In such adversity, one should not lament his fate, nor should span 1,000 miles and waste time, effort, and money to look for panacea. Qin Shi Huang sent 3,000 young boys and girls to the so-called Penglai Island to seek the elixir. As a result, they disappeared without a trace. Emperor Li Shimin, from the Tang dynasty, the panacea made by Yuan Tiangang, who was a famous astrologer and Taoist, also failed to prolong his life. Let alone us, these poverty-stricken common people, we go out early and come back at dusk and live frugally throughout the year. We cannot afford any money to consume. Moreover, the present medical fee is so expensive, we cannot even afford it. However, what deserves us to feel sorry and pity are our beloved relatives, because they are the people who feel the real sadness and pains, not us, because they want to subsist, and there is still a long way ahead of them. So we must first take into consideration for our relatives and friends. Well, for ourselves, should we lose our spirit, wear a long face, be depressed and let it be? Surely not. The Bible says, "The mind of sinful man is death, but the mind controlled by the Spirit is life and peace." No one can be immortal, and death is not terrible. What terrifies us are the life of spiritual entity which will move towards the lower bound after the death of our flesh life. As we are faced with death and our time in the world is running out, we need put all our mind on the construction of our life of spiritual entity. In this way, our life of spiritual entity can be led to a better life space after we die. The real happy life is not being born in this world at all, and is to go directly to the high-level space. In the second place, it is the people who die